Sometimes I wish I could just gather you all up. It's just not the role I play. I'm like a roving single agent in the land of philosophia, which we actually call the battlefields of philosophy, the philosophical battleground. It's populated with all these philosophical soldiers, and so on. And to the south, there's huge jungles where all the urban philosophy and all the philosophy of the real world, people that don't come up in our philosophical battles, they have their own battles and their own activities. And every once in a while, a philosopher comes from the philosophical jungle, bringing ideas back. And the people in the philosophical field, they're a little bit oblivious. And when finally they reject where you brought it from, you die of natural causes, and your things you brought back are now laying there in the philosophical battlefield, and some philosopher will come and discover them, and just they're a little confused about where the new ideas come from, but they will notice them because they're very observant, given long enough to observe. And I'm one of these. That I'm a philosopher, I don't take part too much in the battles anymore, but I have in the past. I'm a veteran. And I don't take part in the philosophical battles as much. I'm more into my own research, which involves going out into the jungle and collecting ideas. And then I come back because you guys are the ones able to talk about it. I try to talk about it, and you kind of half get it, and I learn what I half can learn from it. Sometimes I just wish I could gather you up and take you on a tour, and show you why the ivory tower is just a tower and not actually the home of all knowledge. And there is no perfect tree that grows at the top of the tower with the perfect leaves. Be that as it may. It's really not my role. I'm more of a free agent, I think, just wandering through. And if I happen to tell you something late some night by the campfire, before I leave in the early morning before dawn, you may take that with you, or you may not. But I don't wage the big battles. The tradition is you wage a big battle and win it. That's how you establish. But to me, that's not good enough. From the things I've learned in the jungle, that will not establish your ideas as you'd like them to be established. There's a lot of mock battle, and what do they call it? Kabuki theater, where there's a huge dance between role players. And they really hate if you go in there and say, hey, these roles can be changed. These aren't the roles that make progress, because not everybody in the fields is into progress. A lot of people are just into the battle. They're like Civil War reenactment heads. They want to reenact every battle. Any controversy that exists, it can't be solved. It is a controversy. It is. That's its essence. It is as a controversy forever. And natural philosophy doesn't work like that. And there's natural philosophers up in the philosophical battlefields, but they've devastated every comer, and nobody goes into their area unless they agree, because they will be demolished and demolistrated. Truly, that's a word. It isn't a word. I made that up. But still, I think you got the meaning. And the rest of the battlefields just pretends, well, that's not really a part of the fields, That was taken over by others. It used to be natural philosophy, but now it's just them. We don't even go in there because we can't debate with them. They either don't care about what we say or they demolish us. But I go in there, and there's a lot of things to bring from there in the jungle. Sometimes I just wish because you guys are so interested in reality in a way that others aren't. I appreciate that I can have discussions with you. That when I go out with friends to drink and it gets to be a big party and we meet new people, that some of those people want to talk philosophy. That's great. It doesn't bother me that 9 times out of 10 they disagree with me or even are wrong. I don't mind. I appreciate that, and yet sometimes it's like, well, is that enough? That's enough for me. I get my feedback, but is it really enough? I'm leaving these people. I feel like a theist, leaving a good person to go to hell because they haven't, asked for forgiveness the way they're supposed to. And see, I don't want to do that, so generally I don't. But then sometimes I get that pang. I really like, this is a barren land you're living in. There's fertile lands over here. People with minds such as yours could surely grow some of the most amazing organic philosophies possible. More amazing than ever have been conceived in any culture by any wise people of any wise people. And isn't that a terrible, terrible loss? I mean, shouldn't you be over there growing things rather than here on this bedrock where you have a few cathedrals that are lovely and put you in a certain mood, but you could build cathedrals over there in the fertile lands? Do you have something against fertility? Because sometimes that's what I think it is. I think you have something against fertility. If the land isn't barren, then you don't know about the plants you grow. Maybe they're because of the land that you're in, as opposed to your abilities in horticulture. And does that depress you? Because you want to know what your skills are? Rather have confidence in your skill. Go over there and grow something great. And if it turns out that your grandchildren find out, well, it was the soil, not grandpa, then still they had something great grown there. And they might very well find out that, well, the soil made it possible, but granddad made it 1,000 feet tall instead of 500 feet tall. And you can have all of the glory that you wanted. See, I think the seeking of a certain kind of glory is the problem. That's what stuck me in the battlefields before I could truly research it, go on my expeditions. And I was never competitive in that sense that I would notice until looking very, very closely. And I could see that some essence of glory, to have held, the holy crystal and turned the delicate holy pages of the holy book, to have added a page to that holy book. The glories promised in the battlefields to the victors are very seductive. They're very seductive, and they're seductive in a bad way because they're bad, but they're seductive in a good way in that there's a good reason they appeal to intelligent people. Why, they're the temptations intelligent people can succumb to. But I'm not going to take you to the jungles. I've left maps, I've given you things I've brought back. That's your evidence. That it remains enigmatic to you, that's the way it should be. I do not want to explain the jungle so well that you don't have to go into it. I want to explain it exactly well enough that you have no choice but to go into it and find out what the hell I've been talking about and what ties these things together. You must go into the philosophical jungle yourself, alone, to know if you can survive. Isn't that true, Copernicus? Socrates, you with me? Okay. Oh, wait. Sorry, I was talking. Sorry about it. Socrates, you with me? Okay. There we go. Much better.